So here we are in nature, and I'm just sitting here wanting to talk about the importance of getting out of nature. If you listen in the distance right now, you may be able to hear a siren going on, which is like symbolic of me escaping all of the unnatural noise and coming to the natural noise. If you listen even harder, you'll hear lots of birds chirping, you'll hear crickets, you may even hear running water, slight breeze, the leaves in the breeze, leaves falling off the ground, flowers falling, nuts falling from the trees. All of this is a natural rhythm that goes on as nature just does its thing. And the best part about coming into the forest is its ability to charge us and realign us, so that we can further tackle our everyday lives. And there's many ways that it does that. One way literally is just being in contact with natural energy, so being in contact with so much organic life, breathing in the fresh air that's coming directly from all of this greenery, which you don't see a lot of, especially in the city where I'm from. Also, intaking these sounds. So if you've ever been on YouTube and you've like YouTube meditative sounds for calming effects, for I don't know, headaches, or for uplifting, or for focus, um, you'll hear all these sounds based off of certain frequencies, but they're like mechanic, engineered through like some type of machine. But if you come out in nature and you just listen to the birds chirping, the crickets go and the bees buzz by, and the leaves slightly just make their noises as the breeze passes them by, you'll understand quickly that this is the ultimate meditation sound that you can get. And I want to be clear, I'm in a forest right now because it's right here in the back of my neighborhood. But in reality, there can be nature in a whole bunch of places. There can be beaches, there can be like a park like Central Park, there can be um, spaces like where there's a mountaintop, or just even like farmland or community gardens, spaces where there's lots of organic life growing, are spaces where we're able to recharge. Another way to recharge is to literally ground. What does grounding mean? General means using your feet, taking your socks and your shoes off, and just connecting with the ground. At this point in the forest where I'm at, I won't do that because there's actually a lot of poison ivy around me, and a lot of wild raspberries around me, which by definition have a tendency to prick you because it's just one of the protective forces that they have, physical forces that they have on their bodies to stop natural creatures like deer and other things from overeating, so that the raspberries can actually produce the fruit that it needs to produce. Drop those raspberries on the ground because the raspberries have the seeds, and the seeds will plant more raspberries in the forest naturally without human help. So that's how nature balances and regulates. Speaking about a lesson like that, that's another way that you can gain a sort of grounding from coming into nature, and that is nature is the greatest classroom. There are so many lessons to be learned from hearing, from tasting, from seeing, from feeling, and everything in between. All five of your senses, plus the ones that we don't even know that we have. So, one of the greatest lessons is, how does self sustainability work? If you go anywhere on Earth where the natural environment is undisturbed, you'll see self sustaining systems at play in different levels. One thing that we who are conscious of self sustaining systems or self sustaining living, or just the concept of self sustainability, we often overlook the fact that true self sustainability is something that happens over hundreds or even thousands of years. Something that may happen, as far as human time is concerned, over generations. So when you think about the moves that we make, we always have to be thinking about the generations to come and the generations that have come. Because when we're correcting things, it's not just correcting what we did yesterday, it's correcting what our great grandparents did 100 years ago. Because that all still affects us, it's all still passed on in ways that we can't necessarily recognize coming from just a standard scientific point of view, because these things are often unspoken, are often conditioned without us knowing, and are often hidden or overlooked because of inconvenience of us actually knowing, and the types of feelings and emotions that they might bring up for us or the people who have done certain things to us or not done anything at all for us. So just keeping all that in mind, nature is a wonderful classroom. You can learn any subject that you can think of majoring in school, in any type of university. You can literally learn how to apply that in a natural setting. All you have to do is pay attention and look, and that's how you'll really be able to grasp what it is you're learning in a natural way, because nature doesn't lie. It only adjusts and readjusts to get back to the ultimate form of sustainability, no matter what we do to it. So, keeping that in mind, coming in nature is important. Another reason why coming in nature is important is definitely because it's great exercise. I literally am walking up the side of a mountain and I go off the beaten path a lot, which is dope. It's for exploration, as far as learning new things and just challenging myself. And off the beaten path, there's usually like much steeper things to climb and to hop over and obstacles to cross, than just the carved out path of a state park that a usual hiking path would have. I don't recommend doing this if you don't know the area that you're in or you feel uncomfortable because you're by yourself. But in general, learning how to go off the beaten path is the actual natural thing to do, because in nature there really are no paths, at least not paths how we see them. They're only the paths we make, based off of what we see would be the most efficient way to get to where we're trying to go, and achieve what we're trying to achieve. So keeping all that in mind, it's definitely important to remember that when we come into nature, we recharge ourselves from the daily just stress and negative energy and overwhelming, just unnatural energy, whether that be negative or positive, that comes upon us from living our everyday lives in a first world country, in this society, or even in third world countries where we're affected by first world countries, where a lot of what we do is in the quote unquote matrix, and it's not really related to the overall grand scheme of things from generation to generation. It's just something that affects us now. We're often in front of computer screens, even as I'm talking to you, I'm in front of a screen right now. But again, I'm trying to spread love and light and insight. So I try to use my time on this device strategically. But again, getting out, meditating, being still, getting into your own mind, clearing your mind so that you can achieve your goals. You can recognize your goals. You can recognize the things that are good for you and that are bad for you in the moment. You always have to be realigning. I recommend you do this at least once a day, ideally sunrise and sunset, and if you have time in between, definitely do that. But just soak up the energy from the sun, soak up the energy from the elements, soak up the energy from within yourself, from your mind, connect to nature, get in tune, and just continue to build. So as we continue to be out in nature, I recommend that everyone, and I do mean everyone, get on it and enjoy this wonderful. Look at that green backdrop. It's just amazing. It's comforting. Colors. Colors make all the difference in the world. And up in New England, colors change every season, really every month. We often look at seasons as 4 times a year, but seasons change every month at least, maybe every 2 weeks, if you really pay attention to nature and what's really growing and what's really not at the time. But just really just embracing all the sunlight and the natural settings that come with it, the color therapy from the different colors. It'll tune us into a frequency naturally from natural colors, not ink colors and things like that, but from natural living colors that'll keep us aligned with what's going on with the rest of the world around us as far as environment goes, and it'll keep us focused and balanced. So again, I definitely recommend that we all come out into nature and enjoy nature. And as we do, we'll be helping ourselves physically with the exercise that comes with it. We'll be helping ourselves mentally with the clarification and the realigning that comes with it. We'll be helping ourselves spiritually by just embracing the natural things, the natural settings of things, and just our spiritual awareness of what is really important and what isn't. And we'll also help ourselves emotionally, because there's nothing more emotionally calming than sitting and being still and embracing the sunlight as it just warms you up, you know? Indeed.
Bye.